And when my son was growing up, obviously he's 21 now, he's a grown man. But when my son was coming up, he would have his friends over, his baseball buddies over at the house, and I would hear, would really just chat my ass. I would hear, hey, what does your dad do? And my son, I can hear him from the background, and my son's going, oh, he works for the Teamsters. And it would chat my ass to hear his friend say, what's that?
Yeah. I don't know.
They don't know. Exactly. So the premises behind that Teamster Appreciation Day was to promote bringing families in, to promote seeing all these kids run around playing the carnival games, and you know, my hope was a conversation with their parents to where, oh, it was a union day, it was a Teamster day, so that gets engraved into it, and they have some sort of, they remember that moving forward, and growing up is like, hey, I remember when I was a kid, we did a Teamster day, we participated in a Teamster day. So that is, we as a whole, in not only just an organization, but as a whole in a movement, we got to go back and teach our kids. We got to bring them up. It's okay. It's supervisor roles or manager roles are glorified, and you know, glorified to whatever rhyme or reason, but actual labor should be glorified too.
Yeah.
Not everybody can be a manager, not everybody can be a supervisor, but we have to glorify, we have to go back, and it shouldn't be looked down upon to just labor, no matter what type of labor is done. Organized labor is the most important though.
This podcast may contain views and opinions which are those of the hosts and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any local agency, organization, union, employee, or company, including the podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Off the Clock Shop Talk. Excited to be here. What's going on, George?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. So, before we start the show, I'd just like to preface, we're supposed to be a versus show. Okay, so Sawa shouldn't be here, but he's here. So I want all you out there in YouTube and Spotify world just to act like Sawas isn't here.
Yeah.
Well, I would have come, but you called me.
Yeah. Just real quick though, yeah, these next upcoming episodes are all versus ones. We didn't really explain it that well in the last episode. These are like battles, like with versus episodes with me and John against Sawas and Gary. So
I fired Gary.
That's all of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
Yeah.
And returning guest, I'm excited. What's up, Victor Mineros?
Thank you. I'm excited to be back on the show. I was asking, first thing I asked when I came on, are we still, because when I first came on, there was a theme phrase that would say, fuck Sabas.
Yeah.
So I asked if that's the theme still, and now it's hug Sabas. So
Yeah.
He got
I don't
a
know
little
if I want
sad.
the hug. Yeah.
You got a little sad.
Well, I mean,
But for you, we'll make exceptions.
There you
We
go.
can bring it back for the day. Fuck Sawas.
Just for the day.
you're only playing into all the haters that I have out there.
No,
Anyway.
they shouldn't.
You know
They're
what I mean?
haters is what's the term I've always used about the haters? If you're gonna hate, hang on, I got something else coming for
Well,
you.
I mean, if you're hated, you're doing something right?
Exactly. No,
JN.
Sabas, yeah. So we're not doing the fuck Sabas. We're saying hug Sabas
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll wait on the hugs.
Yeah.
It's good to be back. John, thanks. George, thank you guys for having me back on.
And I
know it's
think
been a while now.
You've been on for phone calls, right?
I have,
I
yes.
think some congratulations are in, or they are necessary at this point. I will say congratulations, Western Region Vice President now.
Thank you.
And Director of Solid Waste Division.
Yes,
Correct?
thank you. Excited. We're doing big things with it, with the division, with the Western Region Vice President. I know we have an election, international election coming up.
Yeah,
But
2026.
I'm excited. I'm excited to get stuff done, organize workers, and just hit the ground
Well, I will
running.
say, look. So I will say, when I called you to come on the show, the first thing you said was, "Fuck." I was hoping to have a day off.
I'm sure those are
And
very
look,
rare for you.
I will say that, your hard work pays off, and it's not for yourself.
Right.
I know because, we get to hang out and deal with you on a monthly basis at least at
Right,
panel.
right.
And I see all the hard work you've put in there. Just you're not the type of boss that asks your employees to do something that you're not willing to do.
Absolutely.
You have way less days off than your business agents. I can guarantee that. I'm sure they're hanging out at home. Shout out to all you guys from 396.
Got a great crew.
I would say congratulations, and it's much appreciated. And the membership really is the one who are benefiting from all your hard work and from your promotions, because at the end of the day, you're out there fighting for them.
It's their promotions. It's their it is. I know what I signed up for. I can complain as a colleague because I know you guys do a lot of work too.
So did you give them a portion of your paycheck, or what's going on?
Fuck Sabas.
We're back.
We're back.
Good one today, boy.
He's on a good one today. No, but in all reality, it is hard work. I know what I signed up for. It's 24/7. Sean O'Brien, our general president, says it 24/7, 365 days a year. And we wholeheartedly do live that. We live that. And, if it's either strike lines, negotiating contracts, panels, trust meetings, I mean, we're out there. We're out there to get it done. And that's probably the most important thing. People just think it's their grievances, and rightfully so. Their gripe, their grievance is the most important thing at that moment for them. But there's a lot of stuff that gets done, with arbitrations. I know we have a sitting arbitrator, and I know you guys are going to get into that. But there's a lot of grind to it, and the preparation behind it is key. The members who come in, unfortunately, they come in because the company put them out, but the preparation and the time dedicated into investigating some of this stuff, into the case studies, with the waste stuff, I have currently we have over a 50-day strike out in Boston, out of Local 25. And then we have another strike out of 728 in Georgia, in Cummings, Georgia. It's outside of Atlanta. So, corporate greed's at its maximum.
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Sir.
Like you said, that is one of the things we wanted to get into, specifically the sitting arbitrator. I can speak for, I think, myself and Sawas in saying that we were around, prior to having a sitting arbitrator. So we saw the terminations that would come up, and we'd be lucky to maybe win one termination, let's say a week, right? The Southwest panel is usually a week long. And then if, let's say, we still felt like it was a strong case, you're talking about taking it to an outside arbitration, right? Which is a 6 month to a year wait, plus, the $10,000 that your local had to spend to arbitrate the termination, which by all means, if we feel it's a righteous case, we're definitely going to do that. But the sitting arbitrator has definitely changed that, in my opinion, for the better. I would say by far.
Absolutely.
We see a lot more return to work with full back pay, which was super rare.
I don't remember ever seeing, prior to the arbitrator, anybody get full back pay.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Right.
Honestly, for reals. I don't think I saw one I've seen people come back because after having to wait 6 months or a year, the company's starving them out, and then they'll throw a bone and say, hey, we'll bring you back to work with no back pay.
Yeah.
A lot of our
Time
members
served
did
suspension.
that,
And rightfully so, because they're suffering economic damage.
Yeah.
And well, see, it's different for the world I come from. 396, we have our own addendum. So we have a sitting arbitrator, but it's expedited arbitration. So we're not part of the JUM, even though I chair the JUM. We're not part of the JUM, but we have an expedited arbitration process that goes back to the Frank Matula era, where it's in the rules, it's in our contract, to where we put on the cases the business agent and the labor manager. Mm-hmm. So we do 1 or 2 arbitrations a month. So I come accustomed to that. When we negotiated the Southwest, the riders, the package and the sort rider, we had it was just panel. All terminations, suspensions, and language interps went to panel. But you're absolutely right, Sabas. It was when I first took over, we didn't have the sitting arbitrator. And you would see the look on a man's face to desperately to get back to work. So there was times that, there was offers made by the company, will bring you back to work with time served suspension. I mean, when a person's desperate like that, what do? He's out there trying to support his family, his medical, his pension, all of that stuff. He has no other choice but to take it on the chin. And it's horrible, the situation that the company would put us in. And lo and behold, now we have a sitting arbitrator. The company thinks that they can, and you guys are very familiar with it. You guys participated in the JALM, the JLM
Joint Area Labor Meeting. JALM
meeting. Well, right. So you guys participate in it firsthand, and Sabas is one of the secretaries for the JALM. So he sees the heavy, deep arguments that we have in executive session. But we've been running the tallies. It's not like we're taking score, because we don't want to take score. We don't want the members to think, and I want them to understand. It's not that we're taking score like if it's a game. Taking a man's livelihood, it really, really weighs on us. We go into these situations where they're very, very serious and very, very delicate. Looking at a human being that he's no longer going to do what he does. This is a great paying job. Let's not forget that. And the company takes their job, and now they're reaching even more. You got code 6s, they call them now, where they it's a call that they make, and it's an internal call. It rises to the level of code 6, and in essence, it's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit, and they're trying to enforce new cardinal infractions, which they don't have, and the arbitrators have been very, very clear in returning these our members back to work. And with full back pay. You guys came from the era, and you guys have a better understanding where nobody would get back pay. It was next to impossible.
I never saw that. And real quick, I just want to add, you said the level 6. We've talked about this on the show. It's the 1-800 number.
Ethics line.
The ethics line that's being weaponized. We've talked about this, John.
Yeah.
Telling our members, be careful, because you call the 1-800 number for concern, and maybe it's just a concern that you want to address. We always ask that you come to the business agents first, but it ends up where, to this new thing, it's this big old thing, and the labor saying we can't do anything about it. It's got to come to panel.
They're being forced.
To do it.
Cases on panel that they don't necessarily might not think that it's a righteous case.
Yeah.
But they're being dictated at that point.
Right.
And then I just want to kind of go back to what you talked about, all the work that went into negotiating the sitting arbitrator. I remember sitting in negotiations, and I'm not going to lie, when I found out that we're going to have a sitting arbitrator and everything it was going to consist of, I was like, shit, man, it's a little scary, right? Because, one, we want to expedite that so they're not waiting a year. But we know we got to be better than labor when we put our cases on and we do our investigations, right?
Right.
And I remember all the talks that we had during the negotiations, and you were very familiar with that because of your own setup there at 396. But it was something new for everybody else here in the Southwest, right? And I think I mean I can speak for myself, but it was a little intimidating at first.
Absolutely.
Because this was a new process. A lot of guys had questions. We didn't know how it was going to go. But yet here we are now, and we're talking about we're not keeping score because this is our members' livelihood. But I want to get back to where you're at now. I think it's definitely worked out, and you guys can get into what that consists of.
It's interesting you say that, Sabas. I mean, coming from that world, and it is hard. You have, 9 locals or 11 locals in the Southwest that participate into the JLM, and everybody was accustomed. I get it. We're human beings. We're creatures of habits. We're there to put a case on and we do the best job we could possibly do. But putting the third person there in the neutral, who's neutral about it, we got to step our game up. We step our game up. We have arbitration, a system to where we can look up arbitrations throughout the country. We store all of our cases now, which kudos to our past fathers who did it, but the system is different now. It's different in the sense is we got to come armed and ready. We got to come, like Mark Davison always says, we got to come ready for loaded for bear.
Yeah.
So, and we've been doing that, and it takes some time in convincing everybody. Listen, get the cases to me, be prepared, do your research. It's not. You shouldn't just think you have a slam dunk. It's more now with facts. And this is the reason why we've been a lot more successful. We have union caucuses now where we debrief with each other.
We're sorry, but the rest of the footage from camera 2 was corrupted and will not be featured here. We will be using the wide angle from our GoPro to show footage of Victor and Sabas. Again, we apologize for any inconvenience. Back to the show.
Pre-panel, we go in, we put the case in front of everybody, and everybody breaks the case down in the sense of, here, these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses. And don't get it mistaken, the company's been doing this for a very, very long time. We just didn't do it on our side to the degree that we're doing it now.
Well, I think they had the ability just to deadlock stuff, and that's what they did. So that's what forced our members to sit, right? The company could sit there and know before the sitting arbitrator that they had a shit case, and our argument was better, and we fulfilled that it was wrong,
right?
Our duties, that it was wrong that they terminated him. But yeah, we'll just deadlock it and we'll make them wait.
Well, they were trying to starve him out.
Yeah.
I really do think that they were like, well, let's just take one final stab at it.
Yep.
We can starve this guy out. Then maybe he'll say, just give me my job back, time served suspension, and take the loss, the financial loss.
Right. They had the upper hand.
Yeah, they did.
And let's not get it mistaken. This was criticized through the contract. This was heavily criticized that it's not going to work, that it's impossible, but we got it done, and the members are seeing it now more than ever. This past jam we had, it was pretty victorious for the members in that sense.
So, I mean, I don't know if you want to get into it, and if not, just let me know. But what are some of the numbers? What are the numbers looking like percentage-wise?
Maybe I shouldn't say the exact percentage. Let's just say check the scoreboard. We're winning big. Not that we're keeping score. I want to make sure that I don't play the games. Like, I don't take lightly. It weighs on me. You guys see it in private when I'm fuming and upset and kicking tables and arguing, but it's because it's passionate to me. I was there. I was one of those members who lost their livelihoods. Luckily, God bless the Teamsters Union, and I was able to get my job back. But I understand having to go back to my wife and telling her I got fired. I lost my job. We don't have insurance. I don't know what we're going to do for pay. Luckily I was a hustler in the sense I figured it out, and like I said, God bless the Teamsters Union, I got my job back. So when I look a man in the face when they've lost their jobs, it weighs on me. It takes me back to the era when I was that person. So it's very important that I reiterate that this is not game playing. We take every single case for what it's there for, and we take it very, very serious. And I try to hold all of the members or the agents to that standard. Obviously, I'm not their bosses when it comes to that, but I asked them to get the case. It's going to take me days and upon days to review and to help assist that. But we do get it done. We do have those conversations. We do have that experience, and I run it through different channels. So, and we're not talking about one or two cases. We're talking about a lot of cases.
Yeah.
This you go into every month where we had close to 20 cases. I think it was 20 the last month. Terminations, just terminations alone.
That's not interps either.
But yeah, right. That's not the interp portion of it. But you have 20 termination cases, and you start looking at them. It's just like, well, the company knows now that if they put it in front of a sitting arbitrator, that they have full responsibility for back pay now.
Yep.
You know, one of the things I want to say, and I don't want to get into the details of it, but there was a case at this last panel for a brother that was out prior to the sitting arbitrator. There was an arbitration decision, ended up in front of the JOM, and then the arbitrator had to make a decision on something specific. And he kind of lapsed into both, right? Because he was under the old contract where there was no sitting arbitrator.
Right.
He gets a decision from the old process because he had to wait so long. Then he's back here in front of the JOM, and the arbitrator had to make a decision on a certain situation, and everything worked out for him, and he's back to work. So we're talking, how long was that, Vic?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years. 2 years before his case was heard in the old process.
Yes.
Yeah.
In those 2 years, this man was out.
Six kids.
6 kids
On the
in a
street.
private conversation. He moved like 4 to 5 times. That's very, very, very hard for a family doing it. And then one of the things I always tell people walking out when the arbitrator rules in our favor, I said, listen, lift your head up high, get your ass back to work. This is water under the bridge. And the next time you walk out of that place is because you're retired with a great Teamster pension. And I hope that resonates in the members' head, because that's the next time they're going to be walked out.
It resonates in mine and George's and your head. Sabas has never been fired, so.
Wow, Sabas.
Little goody tissues over there.
I'll talk to Eric and see if we can do something about that.
we can do something.
We can fix that.
There's no city arbitrator
call
for
it
that.
a vacation. Yeah.
There's no sitting arbitrator over there.
We had this discussion, and they're like, really? You're the only one that hasn't been fired? Believe me, I know I was on the chopping block quite a few times. And just knowing that you're on the chopping block can be stressful. So I can't imagine our members that have to wait prior to the sitting arbitrator. Even now, if it doesn't get docketed, for the next, because it doesn't make it onto the docket, you're waiting 30 to 40 days for a decision. It's fucking nerve-wracking. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that particular case, I think, hit home for everybody that was there. To see one of our members get back to work after 2 years, man, I didn't know the guy, but I know he was a Teamster, and he was overwhelmed,
Right.
And so those are the things, in my opinion, of what you guys did with this new language and the city arbitrator.
It's a team effort.
Yeah, well, yes, it was, because there was a lot of people there.
Right.
There was a lot of us there from everywhere. All the locals were there, and staying up late at night and talking about all this. And there was a lot of pushback. A lot of people didn't think it was going to work.
Yeah.
But we're there every month, and we see, and I can honestly say it's really worked out a lot better than it was before, for sure.
Oh, it definitely has. I mean, you see the difference now, and the company's upset about it, but hey,
It is what it is, man.
at the end of the day, this is easy for them.
Yeah.
They don't have to pay back pay if they stop firing people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stop being trigger happy.
Right,
That's
trigger
really what it
happy.
comes down to.
Right,
Well,
definitely.
speaking of the company, more notably UPS, right?
Right.
We kind of wanted to get into our main topic of today. Obviously, we wanted to touch on the sitting arbitrator and the JOM that's going awesome, just so you guys hear it from the horse's mouth here. It's going great. But we wanted to talk about UPS in a whole and what's going on. Like, is a lot of questions, right? Is UPS going under? Or what's going on? I mean, you look at the stock prices. I mean, even just a couple months, we're talking about back in April, it was up at a little over 120. Now it's back, it's down to 88, I believe, was closing on Friday. We have the Amazon ramp down, right? I believe, I've been listening to some calls, just kind of doing some research, but it sounded like they wanted to close it out like at the end of July. That kind of got pushed, and now we're just slowly tapering off that volume. But I mean, what are you guys seeing out there? I mean, it seems crazy.
What I'm seeing, I mean, just I'm a history nerd. I love history, and I feel that history always repeats itself in certain different aspects of it or certain different forms of it. But honestly, I just feel here we go again, corporate greed at its maximum. It's just worry about the bottom line, and obviously, but we know it's a business too, and it should be ran like a business, and it should be expectation and gains profitable. Right. We're here, but let's not forget who made them profitable. Now, especially with all of these buyouts that they're doing, and we, as a Teamsters in a whole, as an organization, we're opposing these buyouts. Let's not mistake it. We're not in favor of these buyouts. We got pushback. I personally got pushback from several members. Pushback in the sense of, wait a minute, Victor, why are you pushing back on these buyouts? Like, it's a good thing. Well, how is it a good thing in the sense of you put in 30, 40 years and they determine the number that is good enough? What is it, $1,800
$1,800 a year, I believe.
Right. Years for each year's of service. They determined it. They never came to us and discussed it, which was bullshit. So now it seems like it's not working out for them, because it seems like they're going back and trying to sweeten the pot. They're trying to have people retire more, get people out of there, because it comes in different forms. One, you have people who haven't reached the top pay, so now you have a cheaper workforce, and yes, it'll be more expensive later on, but you have a cheaper workforce and a smaller workforce. Some of the stuff that I'm a big pusher of, like, telling my members, stop taking those R days, and I get it. Once in a while, you got a kid's function. I don't want to mistaken it to where I'm telling people don't take complete R days. But what I do want to say is, hey, max out your time.
Yeah.
Because if you're not doing your 20/80 in a year, you're leaving money on the table.
And when the last time we were in negotiations, 2023, what the company gave us the stats, and it was 42% of all full-time employees hit their 20/80. Only 42%.
Right.
Yep.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
And then you have this new thing, management buyouts. That's another aspect of shrinking the business. It seems like she's just consolidating, cutting costs, shrinking business, which was kind of her model in Home Depot.
Right.
Same type of deal. But it seems that she definitely has a plan, and it's not one that's really beneficial to us. Some of the things she said, we did hear, all of us were kind of listening to the Q2 earning call that's at least uploaded to YouTube, where she said that
The edited call.
yeah, right. Where she said basically that the building closures, they are aiming for what it sounds like 25% attrition. So she's, with each building closure, she's hoping to lose 25% of those employees, maybe more. They did talk about how the attrition rate when closing buildings isn't exactly what they want. I think she said in the first month it's like 1%. But if they stretch it out over 3-4 months, it builds to 25, which sounds like more of what they're looking for. Right. That coupled with the buyouts, coupled with the management buyouts, it just seems like they have a strategy of getting people out. I believe on the call also they mentioned that 84 to 85% of drivers are a top rate, and from what it sounded like to me, that's a goal to knock that down. Right. They don't want drivers at top driver rate. They want to bring in fresh blood. They want a turnaround.
A full
they
turnaround.
want turnaround.
They need to recoup that $30 billion.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
On that call, did they talk about automation at all?
Well, that's at least what they were saying in regard to the building closures. Okay. The building closures are being done to automate. That's obvious, right? That's why they're closing the buildings. Right. Some of them are reopening. Some of them are due to maybe a bigger building in the area already got automated, so they're consolidating. It's definitely part of everything. It's a bigger strategy than really what we're looking at. But that to be said, in conjunction, they definitely want that attrition when they close the building. That is what they're shooting for.
That
and
is
it
their goal.
seems like
And it just drives me crazy just knowing and talking to some of the feeder drivers and package car drivers is little things where it was unheard of when I was driving to turn a customer's package away.
right.
It was unheard of. It was like holy. I mean, it was engraved in us to make sure
service the
go out of our
customer.
way. And now it's nope. They can only take whatever they put down on their end of day sheet.
Yeah.
And if they have one more, they can say, nope, we're not taking it. It's maybe not that extreme, but it is unheard of for me to hear that drivers, our members, are turning work away from.
Are being told to turn
Are being
work
told to turn work away, to not take that extra volume.
Well, I'm glad you touched on that, Victor, because I think a lot of our members don't understand this part of it. They look
Right.
to us and go, oh, you guys are just letting them do certain things, and they're not even aware that UPS has implemented this.
Right.
Right? Because we hear it all the time. But it's crazy. We would go out of our way all the time to pick up packages.
Right.
All the time.
We were all drivers here, some
Yeah.
form or another, and we would always just go the extra length for the customer. And I don't know, I don't know if that is still there. It just depends. You're graded on the customer that pays the most. And how do you determine that as a driver?
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
It is.
And we are trying to verify a quote that was said on the management side of the
You
Q2
did tell
earnings
me about
call.
that.
It's funny. I was not approached. I was speaking to a manager just about what's going on with UPS, and because I'll be honest, every manager that I've talked to, at least up to the division management level, it doesn't seem like anyone's happy with the company right now. They're all fearful. They're all being worked to death because they're consolidating positions, getting rid of other managers. And he just happened to tell me, look, I wrote this quote. This is how he prefaced. He pulled his phone out. He's like, can you believe this? I wrote this quote down as soon as I heard it on the call. And the quote basically said, people used to come into UPS, and I will back up 1 second. The quote was from Carol Tomei. So people used to come into UPS thinking that they had a job for life. Those days are over. So he wrote it down. He gave me the timestamp for the video. We can't find that video publicly anywhere. Now he's upper level management. Right. We can't find that video anywhere yet. I'm going to reach out and see if we can get some.
We should use that quote and have her leave.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure, believe it or not, I'm sure a lot of people would. I'm sure, and I speak for management too. I think a lot of people are tired of the way the company's being run.
Absolutely.
Now,
Run to the ground.
and you
Run
see
to the ground.
weird coincidence, right? The stock is way down, and guess who's buying up a bunch of stock?
Right. There's stock buyback.
Right.
But one thing that she cannot break is solidarity.
Yeah.
She cannot not break that. I mean, as a package division, I put a campaign together about explaining what it really is, these bullshit buyouts, to where it's not working for them. It's not working for them. They're not getting the buyouts. Yes, granted, we do have members. I don't think each local union has a certain degree, but most of these guys who are grabbing that buyout money are the guys that were already on the way out the door.
They had their retirement paperwork in already.
Right. So they're already, or they had in mind like, hey, I have 6 months to a year. They're thinking, well, if I can grab a couple bucks on my way out, why not? And good for them. I get it. But also we got to understand that there's also small print in those buyouts that a lot of people are not talking about. Exactly. There you go, Sabas. To where you're relinquishing your right on a lot of stuff, workman's compensation. And I tell the members, unfortunately, they come to me and they'll ask me in the sense of like, hey, this is bullshit on this, but the buyout's great. It's great, Victor. I don't know about all of that, but no, it's great. But this. Can you do something about this? I was like,
About the
wait a
buyout?
minute.
Can you fix this?
Yeah,
just
can you
said
fix
was
this?
great.
Negotiate this. I don't like these terms.
Exactly. They don't like certain terms in it, and I tell them, look, this was not negotiated. Yep. We're moving a case forward. Let's be clear. This is not negotiated language. We feel it's a violation of the contract, so we will be moving a case forward on a national level.
Can you touch on that local? I read that, and I don't know where that came from. There was a local that filed a lawsuit. Is that even true? Stewart sent that to me. It was somewhere back east.
In the sense of a lawsuit,
Yeah.
I don't know exactly if there's litigation or start of litigation. I know every local in the South, across the country, has filed board charge and a grievance. So that process it's on its way.
Somebody sent it to me, one of the feeder guys, and he asked me about it. I said, I highly doubt there was any litigation. I mean, this just happened. There was nothing settled. I'm going to find it. It's on my phone.
Share it with me. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at it.
Somebody was asking me about it, and it was a feeder guy, and I was like, I have no idea about this.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, so in all honesty, I guess all of us. I mean, what do you see for UPS's future?
Hopefully, Carol Tomei takes a buyout.
She takes her own buyout.
That would be nice. That would definitely be nice.
What we see is we have to adjust with the times. We've had adjusted with the times in different corporations like this. So, and I'm not saying when I say adjust to the times, I'm saying we have to fight differently now.
Yeah, I agree.
We legislate.
Yeah, that wasn't we need to lay down, learn how to lay down.
Exactly. I want to clarify that.
Clarify.
Somebody's going to take this.
Yeah, exactly.
Clip.
Did you hear what Victor said? It's campaign season, so they're gonna start editing this. So no, but it's different. I mean, legislation. When the contract was negotiated, it's just like, oh, you guys took automation on the chin. This is bullshit. Automation was never near to what it is now. Yeah. A big fight as a labor movement in a whole is AI. There's not, in different trades, we're not fighting AI in every single level. But it is so hard just to incorporate it into a contract. We can incorporate it into a contract, but how do you incorporate something that you don't know exactly is being done? But here is something that we can incorporate, and it can be utilized in a whole legislation against AI, statewide legislation against AI. I know both joint councils we're fighting, Joint Council 7 in Northern Cal with Peter Finn, Vice President Peter Finn, and Joint Council 42 with our President Chris Griswold on that. So we are taking it on. We are taking it on head on. Even the simple stuff is in taxis or Waymo, the automated taxis. And people, they ask, well, why are we fighting that battle? So you got to start somewhere. Those Waymos, it's not a company. Waymo's not a company who's going into business because they want to take over taxis.
Yeah.
The taxi, system service.
They're getting the bugs out right now.
Exactly. If you think about it, George or John or Sabas, it's your cell phone. Mm-hmm. Your first iPhone didn't have the capacity to do what it does now. It didn't have the capacity to do the crazier stuff. Yeah. The reason it does now have it, because the bugs out, to your point, the bugs are worked out. And the only way you can work those bugs out is they're actually utilizing the system. And don't get it twisted. Corporations want, their most expensive thing is labor. And they want automated trucks. They're out there already. Yeah. They're out there already. Package handlers, they're out there already. There's ideas and prototypes out there already, including with UPS, to where you have a robot drop a package off to your front porch. How exactly, I don't think they have it down exactly, but we do have to have legislation. And a lot of corporations will fight on the Hill and argue and say, well, automation just creates new jobs. But again, not everybody can be a doctor. Not everybody can be an attorney. I preach that, and I wholeheartedly believe that in my own household. I told my kids, like, hey, listen, I want you to get higher education. I definitely want you to get higher education, but it's not for everybody. Don't waste my money. A good trade is always great too.
Yeah.
You know, so
I
that's always important. And speaking of family, last time I was here, I wasn't a grandpa. Now I'm a grandpa.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. Somebody's, why are you looking at me?
Grandpa
No,
Vic.
I'm a grandpa too, so I get it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the grandpa couch.
Yeah.
over
Yeah,
there.
this is a grandpa couch.
No, it's the best. I saw that picture of you holding your grandson, and
Right.
it's just
That's
until you're there, you can't explain it.
right. That's a future. That's the
Yeah.
coming up
Yeah.
and teaching them. We just had a big Teamsters Local 396 Member Appreciation Day, where we rented out a big hall at the Fairplex, and we had close to 2,000 members and their family, which was huge. And the reason I get into that is one of the biggest challenges. Obviously, I don't come from generation of labor in my family. Yes, I have some uncles who were Teamsters or family members who are Teamsters, but I don't have the privilege of my dad coming from a labor union. And when my son was growing up, obviously he's 21 now, he's a grown man, but when my son was coming up, he would have his friends over, his baseball buddies over at the house, and I would hear, would really just chap my ass. I would hear, hey, what does your dad do? And my son, I can hear him from the background, and my son's going, oh, he works for the Teamsters. And it would chap my ass to hear his friend say, what's that?
Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know. Exactly. So the premises behind that Teamster Appreciation Day was to promote bringing families in, to promote seeing all these kids run around playing the carnival games, and you know, my hope was a conversation with their parents to where, oh, it was a union day, it was a Teamster day. So that gets engraved into it, and they have some sort of, they remember that moving forward, and growing up is like, hey, I remember when I was a kid, we did a Teamster day, we participated in a Teamster day. So that is, we as a whole, in not only just an organization, but as a whole in a movement, we got to go back and teach our kids. We got to bring them up. It's okay. It's supervisor roles or manager roles are glorified, and glorified to whatever rhyme or reason, but actual labor should be glorified too.
Yeah.
Not everybody can be a manager. Not everybody can be a supervisor, but we have to glorify. We have to go back, and it shouldn't be looked down upon to just labor, no matter what type of labor is done. Organized labor is the most important, though.
You brought up a really good point there, and we talked about this on the podcast. My daughters growing up, they knew Walmart was the devil.
Right.
They knew not to shop there. They knew if the grocery guys went on strike, we only went to Stater Brothers because that's where they told us to go. And you get that ingrained in you in events like you had.
Right.
And to your point, when these young kids don't understand what it is, having those events will ingrain in them. To this day, my oldest is 34, and she's
my age.
Yeah, right. She knows, and she'll ask me certain things.
Right.
She's out there in San Bernardino, and it's 1932 out there, right? Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And then she says, "Man, Dad, I seen the buses, and they have Teamsters on the buses." And I said, "Yeah, that's pretty awesome." But one of the things I wanted to circle back to was being a grandfather. Imagine having a kid at the same time. Then you can. Really
No, I can't imagine that. No, I'm done with having kids.
But it is. It's a great feeling.
No, it really is.
I want to, and maybe you can cut this out. But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. What do you have to say to the people out there that say, whether it was Victor Mineros or Sean O'Brien or Eric Jimenez here, who's running Local 952 and you run 396. What do you have to say to those people that say, well, if they weren't there, they wouldn't be automating? If somebody else was there, they would stop it. I try to tell these guys, no matter who's in
Doesn't
office,
matter who's there.
the company's still going to run their business the way they want to. And we can only enforce what's in the contract now. to your point, how do we negotiate AI when we haven't even got into the whole?
It hasn't been
Yeah. Really,
brought out completely or unveiled completely. What I do say to them, it's the same thing I say when I'm watching a Dodger game and I yell at the manager on the TV. When I watch a football game and I yell at the quarterback or the defensive coach. Listen, at the end of the day, you can say you can be the Monday night quarterback.
Right.
You can be the biggest critic from the fan. But if you're not in the game, you're not participating part of the game, you're not involved in it, shut the fuck up and get involved.
You mean writing posts on the internet isn't being involved?
Well, yes, exactly. Those
But I'm logged in.
Yeah, it just you know, we kind
In
of
your
touched on it
chonies.
a little bit.
Right.
We are in campaign season here, and there's a lot of people out there that say, well, if they weren't there, we would put a stop to it. And you know,
That's some
I'm
wild
tired of
thoughts.
hearing that, because if the company's going to automate a building or they're going to shrink it down, they're going to do it, no matter who's in there. And we on our side,
and we're gonna fight it. Let's
we're
be
gonna
clear.
fight it. No,
yeah,
absolutely.
let's be clear.
No, I don't. And somebody's gonna take this little clip that I'm saying and is gonna run with it. But yes, we are gonna fight it.
Right.
And we are gonna negotiate negotiate the terms of, if that automated system, it's gonna be Teamster fixing it or running it, because that's what we're gonna do, right?
Right.
But I'm a little.
But here's the thing, though. As organization, we are very inclusive. We're very democratic. We encourage people to get involved, but it's you can't sit back and John sit. What would you call it? Sit in the basement in your underwear, your chonies,
exactly.
and
Sitting
just
with your
be a critic when you don't show up to meetings, you don't show up to
Strike
participants, to
Yeah.
strike lines. It's it's easy to be a critic.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
It's the easiest thing, but get involved.
Yeah.
Get involved. Participate in some of your stuff. I got criticized for putting this event. Yes, it costs a lot of money, but this is the members' money.
Yeah.
This is the members who it's giving back. We haven't gave back to the members at least in 396 to the degree that we're doing now.
Yeah.
It's important for them. It's very, very important. It's their money, their membership, and we're just creating some sort of inclusion and talk about things, and that shouldn't only just be for the actual member, the rank and file member. That should be part of their family, because their families are also part of the fights. They're part of the struggles when we do have actions, when we do have labor disputes and strike lines. Is one thing, and I know I've ran several strikes, and the last one, like in 2021, when we had a Republic strike for 9 days. I had prepping for that. I had told everybody, save up for at least 3 to 4 months, save up. And I went back and I told my family, my wife, my kids, I said, hey, listen, if this strike goes on, we are doing Christmas on the strike line. And I meant it. And I said that to the members, is tell your families to participate, bring your kids to walk lines so they do understand that. And it's, luckily it only went 9 days. We got what we needed, but you got to preach that.
Yeah.
Not only preach it, but you got to believe it. You got to live it.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to live it.
Teamsters is definitely a lifestyle.
It is. It really is.
Well, that being said, I mean, we could talk all day, obviously, but I just want to say, Victor, we appreciate you for coming on, spending your time. I'd like to get you home at a decent hour. I mean, we've been going for about an hour. So, I just want to extend our appreciation, our genuine gratitude for everything that you're doing within the Teamsters.
Thank you.
Just as on a personal note, like I look at you as someone I want to emulate. You work your ass off. It pays off for you. You do it for the members. You're doing it for the right reasons. Obviously, like today, You're not getting paid. I hope they told you you're not getting paid, right?
Uh-oh, wait a minute.
If Victor gets paid, I'm really fucking paid.
Well,
I've been doing this for a fucking long time.
well, here's the thing, though, because I was enticed. Saba said he was going to bring me a burrito, and I'm yet to see the breakfast burrito.
Actually,
So
the conversation was, I told John, I said, hey, 2 chorizo papa burritos, we'll feed 4 of us. He goes, that sounds really good. I get here, no burrito.
He's the one who said it, though.
Yeah,
He brought it up
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's gonna bring them, and then he's like,
well,
and
I'm
then
stopping
John
at the
didn't
store.
bring any burritos.
He's like, I'm
What
stopping at the store, and I'm
fuck?
like, that's saying, hey, get Victor a burrito.
Why haven't we got my
I got some
burrito?
drinks and sauce.
No, in all reality, thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me back on the show. I congratulate you. You guys are doing good. I see your views. I listen to your show. You guys are out there explaining to the members and to the general public how important labor unions are. So congratulations to you guys for keeping the show going this long. And to Mark Davison, Western Region Vice President. I am the highest view getter on here. So I want the record to show that I have the highest views on this show. So Mark came on twice. And I
your
beat them
second
both.
appearance.
Well, this is my second appearance,
Yeah.
so I hope to beat him twice again. So no, I love Mark Davison. He's my colleague and a partner in this this crazy movement that we're in. But I still beat you. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for having me on today. Really do.
Definitely. And I'm not sure, I think we opened up a lot of questions in regard to our main topic about where UPS is going. Maybe not to be answered right now, but at the end of the day, started the discussion and kind of looking at some of the things that are being said out there publicly and privately by the company. And, you guys stay strong out there. You got people like Victor, like Sawas, like George fighting for you at all levels, and thank you to each of you guys. That being said, we appreciate you guys tuning in every week. Please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button. Follow us on Instagram, OCST952.
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, email us at ocst.000@gmail.com. We'll get back to you.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Thanks, guys.